Hey everybody, it is Red Ribbon here. Welcome to another tier list. This one's a solo adventure because I do not have Xylomek with me. And he was with me for the first couple of tier lists that we did. But I've decided that since I'm here, I can do this one. So this one's called the One Piece Waifu tier list. Now, I could do this in the way of how most people do their quote-unquote waifu tier lists. And I'm not gonna, for two reasons. One, I don't like waifu discussions. They make me uncomfortable. Not because I think they're bad, but it's just... It's just... I don't know. Everybody has their preference in waifus. Even though Speedwagon's the best one. Anyway, also, look, if I did it the typical way of doing it, I'll be 1,000 with you. I would have to sit here and justify a lot of these. Look, most of the cast of One Piece are either way older than they look or way younger than they look. There are some who look about the same age as, like, Nami or Robin, and turns out they're, like, the same age as Chopper. So it's a little weird. I could go with the whole, well, I'm going to view them all as 18, but you know what? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to rank them on how cool they are. Because that's how my childish mind works. Anyway, starting off this tier list, we got Baby 5. Now, this is an interesting one. I think she's a part of the Don Quixote Pirates, which is Doflamingo's crew. I think she's at least a solid C tier character. Now, her whole thing is that I think she just falls in love with anyone. Or maybe I'm mixing her up with a different character who just happens to have the same type of personality trait. She falls in love a lot. A lot. A lot. And don't get me wrong. She is not... How do I word this? How do I word this in not the weirdest way possible? Well, first of all, she's in her 30s, so leave her alone. And second of all, despite her name, and second of all, women in One Piece actually fight. That is a thing that I appreciate about this manga, anime, however you want to put it. They fight. Women fight in this show, and I actually appreciate that. And her devil fruit is actually really fucking cool. So basically, she can turn her body into any weapon she feels like. That includes, but is not limited to, a bomb, and guns, and cannons, and blades of whatever she feels like. Basically, if it's a weapon, a man-made weapon, she could probably do it. I'm not sure what it... I'm not seeing her do nukes or stuff like that. But aside from that, I think as far as like a character and her relevance to the story, I suppose overall is another factor I could put in. I think she's a C tier. She's alright. She's there. Not the coolest, but her devil fruit makes her stand out. Next up is, I don't know your particular name, but you're here. That's neat. I do know your devil fruit's pretty cool, and you have a really cool fight with Zoro, but aside from that, I don't really know that much about you. I know your devil fruit is like 80% of your character, and you're in the Film Z movie, so you get a B tier for simply being in the best One Piece movie. Fight me, Film Z is the best. Next up is Jewelry Bonnie. Now, her story alone could put her in, like, B or A tier for me. But I'm not going to necessarily call her a S tier character. Because she's not. Her devil fruits, whatever. I guess. I mean, it's a cool power. Being able to turn yourself young, old. Being able to, what is it? Effectively be immortal. And turn anybody around you higher or lower in age is pretty cool. But the discussions around this character is what really makes me just not care. I'm not going to go into a whole thing about lollies. That's not a question or argument I'm going to get into with people. I have my thoughts on it, and that's the end of that. But, fuck. I'm going to put you in B tier. because her story's really cool. You're not higher than her. She's in the best movie. I mean, if anything, I'm about to put her in S tier because she's in the best movie, but there are actual S tier characters, so moving on. Who the fuck are you? Oh, you're what's her name from... You're either from Heart of Gold or Film Gold. I want to say Film Gold. Yeah, you're Film Gold. I forgot you're in that movie. Putting you in D tier. For I don't really care. I'm sure somebody out there likes you. I don't remember. Okay, here we are. Now here we are. Carrot. I'm going to put Carrot in A tier because her journey through Whole Cake was very interesting and fun to watch. Now, I will start off by saying I think the Sulongs as a race and species are like one of the coolest things added to One Piece. I mean, yeah, technically we could have had, what is it? It could have easily been relegated to a Devil Fruit, but I'm glad they did not do that with the Minks. I think the Minks are awesome. They're like such a great idea, such a cool concept. I love the fact that they all have like a shared ability of electrocuting the hell out of something. It's cool. Honestly, Carrot, A tier. Remember, this is not for sexual reasons. I can't stress that enough, or I would have to stop at like V's. Or this is going to be a short list if I had to do it that way. Next up is Conus. Conus. I remember her from Skypiea, which is my favorite arc in One Piece, of the pre-time skip. That is my favorite, second favorite arc. Okay, look. The Enies Lobby is my favorite arc. This is my second favorite because this feels like the most One Piece story I've ever heard in my life. That whole, all of Skypiea feels like maximum One Piece to me. For Conus, I give her a solid C tier. Above Baby 5. Because she does have relevancy in her story, in the story of Skypiea. But I feel like once the whole God's game kind of like, you know, begins, she's like a major background character, and that is it. She has one moment where she looks cool holding a dial cannon. But aside from that, what do I care? I know you're from... What is that arc? Hold on. There's Enies Lobby. The Impel Down. That's it. You're from Impel Down. And you're going in the D tier. Because I don't remember you outside of gooning for, outside of the time you turned the stone gooning for, what is it? Boa Hancock. Speaking of... B tier. Now, I know what you're all thinking. She is a spoiled brat. But that's kind of half the fun of her character, weirdly. Not only that, she's one of the coolest fighters in One Piece. Of the female fighters. She's not the coolest male fighter. Or, why did I specifically point out male like that wasn't super sus? She's not the coolest fighter in One Piece. But she's damn near close. I mean, honestly... Carrot's a stronger fighter than she is. And not really saying that Carrot is stronger than her. Carrot will get absolutely demolished by her, but she's fun. But Carrot's fun. Carrot's fun to watch fight. You are a badass in terms of armament hockey and conquerors hockey. You're just an arrogant brat. I wanted to say the other thing, but I'm trying to be less cursy. The point is that you are cool, but not as cool as... Not as cool as Carrot, and also, we learn your backstory, but there's not really much story around you. That's really kind of it. Okay, cool. Here we are. Hina. This is my S tier. Or this is my standard for an S tier. She's a fun character. She's super supportive of my favorite character, which is why I'm being super biased about her. Which is why I'm going to drop her down to A, which is more fair. She doesn't have that much relevancy to her story, but I click with her super well. I think she's amazing. She's badass. She's fun. She's badass. She's has a really fun ability of just being a human cage, which, yeah, you know what? One Piece has never been shy about making sexist remarks out of its female Devil Fruit users. Bella Hancock's literally is love. Her thing is time. Bonnie's is age. You know what? You got me with Baby 5. But the point is that One Piece and their female Devil Fruit users don't get the best deal. However, I still think that Hina's a fun one, and I want to put you in S so bad, but I can't because it's not how I'm doing this. I don't remember you. Moving on. I have no idea who you are. Khalifa. I'll put you in upper C tier because A, that forehead, and B, no, that's not fair. You get to actually be lower B tier because you gave Nami her best fight in the entire series. And the last fight in her entire series. I'm not caught up with the manga, so I don't really know. But you are the best fight for a while that Nami gets. And that alone gets you B tier. I think you're a really interesting character. I mean, I love how ridiculous and yet serious the 6 powers are as a concept. So I kind of love it. But to be honest with you, I don't remember jack about you. Outside of your fight with Nami. So... Oh, Usopp's girl. Whose name I'm trying, y'all. I can't remember her name for the life of me. She's cute. Her story was fun. You're not a D tier. If anything, I'm putting you in C tier. Actually, no, you know what? You fight for my boy Usopp, so you get to be in B tier. Kami is what I believe her name is, and correct me if I'm wrong, One Piece nerds. Kami. You are the reason we got introduced to the greatest hockey user in One Piece history. So... man. That is an interesting place to put you. Sorry, my ad blocker decided to be loud. You are the reason Hachan gets a redemption. And Hachi was one of my favorite characters of the Fishmen, so you know what? You get to be an upper C tier. Koala! Now, I don't know enough about you outside of your backstory. I mean, I had to read your backstory. I never, like, knew who you were. I think your design's fun. I love hats with goggles on them. That is a favorite, like, trope or clothing trope or whatever the heck you want to call it. It's one of my favorite things. I love hats with goggles on it, so that's already earning cute points in my book. I think her fighting style of fishman karate without being a fishman is fun. I know Robin does it later, but she does it first. You definitely get to be in I guess upper C tier. Which reminds me, Baby 5, you get to be above her. Codis is her name, anyway. You're cute, but all I know about you is that, look, I had a crush on you when I was younger, so I think you were cute, but really outside of that, you're like, you're not even the mom that Luffy's adopted mom. That was the Mountain Bandit lady. You know what? You have Shanks' kid, so you know what? You get to be here. No, I can't put you in the same tier as them. You get to be here. I don't remember your name, but I remember you were a really fun character. And our introduction to Amazon Lily. Outside of being turned to stone and not being a jerk to Luffy, I can't remember too much about you as a character, so you know what? You get to be D tier. Not D tier, you get to be C tier. I don't remember much about you. I don't think they ever did anything. Nami. Now, if I went off of my other things, Nami gets to be an A tier. But I'm putting her in B. Now let me explain myself. She has a huge arc. Arlong Park is a good arc. It's honestly where I tell people to watch up to if you want to know whether you like One Piece or not. Yeah, I know you really shouldn't have to watch an entire arc, but I feel like this is the closest one that's like, it's closest to what I would consider season 1 of One Piece. So, there. Nami has a cool ability of being able to like read the ocean and like read the weather perfectly. She's a great navigator. She's a lot of fun. Her climate attack is such a cool weapon, but she loses points because she does what almost every other One Piece of the Straw Hat crew, I should say, every other Straw Hat crew character ends up doing, and she's in the background and doesn't do stuff. Now, I'm not gonna pull the whole, oh, Oda's just being sexy. No, that's not what it is. She's just not a fighter. That's just it. She's just not a fighter. She would avoid the fight if need be. Like I said, Khalifa gives her her best fight in the story so far. Now again, I don't know what's going on in the manga. She could have had more fights that were more interesting than that one. But I feel like that's where Nami's mettle as a Straw Hat member and as a friend was tested at its limit. So I'm going to put Nami in B tier. She is the highest of B tier so far. There could be others, but right now, that's her thing. I would put her in A tier, but I feel like there are other characters who kind of deserve it. Robin. Now, Robin is another character who I would love to put in A tier as well. However, Robin suffers the same problem as Nami, where they just didn't do much with her. Now, granted, Enies Lobby is my favorite arc in One Piece aside from Skypiea. Same, I'm just gonna fix that. Same, arc this one's from. However, they didn't do anything with her for a long time. Now, again, same argument as Nami. It's just because she's not a fighter, on average. Until they revealed that she knew Fishman Karate. There's no excuse as to why she doesn't have armament hockey at this point, or at least would have learned the 6 powers. It bothers me a little bit that they never did that with her, but Oda has his reasons, and I have to live with that. I don't have to like it, but I can live with it. I'm not going to go on this whole rant about how Robin's secretly the strong Straw Hat member, and how she's a wasted character. Look, at the end of the day, she's not a Straw Hat because she's a fighter. She's a Straw Hat as their historian. She can fight. That does not mean she wants to. You know, her afternoon is sitting with the book, glass of wine in hand. That is it. I can't remember your name, but you're Nami's sister. You get a C tier. Nojiko? Whatever. I'm putting you in upper C tier because you were the hot one of the two. Perona is what I hope her name is. Perona, huh? I don't know what to do with you, to be perfectly honest. Been staring at your portrait for a while. Perona, I feel like she's somewhere between D tier and B tier. D tier and C tier. The reason I want to put her in C tier, and if I did put her in C tier, I'd put her right about here. Here. It is just because she gave Usopp one of the most hilarious fights he's ever been in. That scene where she tries to cheer him up because he's just so depressed her powers don't even work on him is funny. But I feel like aside from that and her interactions with Zoro and Mihawk, there's not much to her character. Granted, her weird devotion to Gecko Moria is pretty funny. Aside from that, I don't know. Perona, you're upper D tier, I guess. I believe that's Sugar? Yeah, that's Sugar, right? Devil Fruit's creepy, you're creepy, you have 3 eyes, your whole arc is weird. Your arc is the home of the best fight in one of the best post time skip fights in One Piece, so You know what? You get to be in C tier just because you gave my boy Sanji his a good arc. So, Rebecca. What to do with you? Your name's not Sugar, is it? No, Sugar's the green-haired girl. God damn it, I don't remember you at all. Uh, you know what? I know your abilities. I know who you are. I just can't remember your name. So I guess C for now. Rebecca. I do think it's cool they introduced more characters with hockey. I just don't like the way they did it with her. Yeah, she got training from her dad who was a toy, but I feel like that was not nearly as grueling as it should be to have given her observation hockey at the level that it did. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for Usopp either, but I feel like it's somehow less egregious with her. You know what? No, I'm going to say it's less egregious with her than it was for Usopp. Usopp was just stressed out. There was no good reason he got observation hockey aside from that. She at least somewhat trained on how to fight. And I will give her that. I'm not saying this as a way of discouraging Usopp or thinking Usopp shouldn't have observation hockey. I'm happy he has hockey. I really am. I just wish they'd do more with it, with the fact that he has hockey. It just feels like he just does nothing with it. Anyway, Rebecca. Focusing on Rebecca. Your arc is kind of neat. I don't think you're a B tier character. I'll put you in C. I'm going to put up Koala a little more. I'm not good at tier lists is what I'm learning. This is okay for now. Ah, Sanji's big sister. You are the reason Sanji ends up finding Red Zeph. So you know what? I'm going to put you in B tier. That and your like whole thing is cool. Your fighting style is cool. Your raid suit is, well, it's a raid suit, whatever. But your fighting style is cool. The fact that you can naturally just produce poisons, it's cool. It's just a lot about you is cool. S tier. Giant killer whale lady. This is 100% for the reason you think it is. I'm not apologizing for that. She has no relevance to the story outside of saying Luffy's gonna destroy the world. But I think she's hot, so we're moving on. I established this stupid rule about not doing it for that reason, but here I am anyway. Anyway. The Shirahoshi D tier, moving on. Okay, if I actually have to give an answer, it's because I just don't care about her as a person or a character. Like, look, yeah, she's neat and all. She can be the queen of the D tier for all I friggin' care. I just do not care for her as a character. All she does is cry. All she does is do nothing. Yes, I've seen her in the Reverie arc, which is great and all, but, like, whatever. I don't care. Tashigi, I honestly... A tier. A tier. Yes, there is that BS that's still going on between her and Zoro, but you know what? I think she's had such a glow up between her pre-time skip and her post-time skip. She knows armament hockey. She knows observation hockey. There's that cool scene where she deflects the cannonball with her... Deflects the cannonball. I'm going to put you above Hina. Then no, you're not above Hina. Let's be honest. You're not above Hina. But anyway, I think there's so much about her that's improved via the time skip that I honestly think she's done such super well for herself. I wish they would do more with her and frankly smoke her as well. But I love this all. I love what they've done with her all the same. You can see people's minds and you most likely fucked Doflamingo. D for Doflamingo. Okay, next up and last on this list is hilariously Vivi. There's a lot to say about Vivi. I think the fact that she had a fighting style at all was cool. Like, she wasn't just typical princess. She actually knew how to fight. Not well, but she did it. I thought her performance as that frog, with that guy with the baseball bats was hilarious. I love the fact that she was even a part of Baroque Works. Sorry if it sounds like I'm far away. Just something bit me. Anyway. I will say though, hell, she's actually no. You know what? Second, not an A tier character. I mean, yeah, there was that whole why does everybody have to die thing? Why can't you just not let people? I mean, look, I don't like preachy speeches like that. I've never liked speeches like that. It just sounds. I mean, it's supposed to sound immature because she wants to, but there's nothing wrong with wanting the best of all situations either. But I think Vivi is a cool character that had a lot of potential for her. I love the fact that she still shows up even later on and still does things. I thought her fighting. I already said her fighting style. I just like Vivi. I think Vivi is a cool character. And that's the One Piece waifu tier list. I'm not apologizing for my S tier. That stays the way it is because yes, I have a thing for the giant whale shark lady, not whale shark, orca whale lady. I have a thing for her, and I'm not gonna let anybody stop me on that. Now for my final thoughts on this list. Well, I will say if I had to choose a couple characters to move up or down, the more I think on it, the more I want to move not Jewelry Bonnie. I want to move Nami down a little bit on this list, just because yes, she had a cool fight, and I think her character overall was nice, but I feel like they did too much with her to the point to where I just don't view her in the same light as I did pre-time skip. Now, granted, she's always had certain quirks. She's always been kind of a coward when it comes to things stronger than she is. Kind of a coward. Not a full coward. They kind of just lumped her in with the I'm the weakest part of the crew trio, and that bothers me. But that only bothers me because of just they made her so much of a coward. It's like they gave all of Usopp's cowardice to her and then doubled it with Usopp, and it's just I don't like it. Carrot is cool. I'm keeping her where she is, but I'm gonna put her underneath. Actually, I'm putting her underneath Vivi. I think Vivi has the most going on for her. I love Carrot's arc. I think it's a little weird they made her the new leader of the Mink tribe. I feel like that was not. I feel like she still has a lot of growing up to do before that can be the reality of her. Be the reality, but I think for the most part, yes. Cool character. Love what they've done with her. I don't really regret much of my D tier. It's either I don't remember you or I didn't care. It's like the two options. C tier. My C tier is going to remain the same. I don't have any reason to change it. It is as it is. Like, these are just characters that... You know what? No, I will change one thing. Baby 5, you get to be in the second place of C tier because I think you did all right as a character compared to a lot of these other characters, but I'm also moving you up as well. But aside from all that, I think the majority of you just... I don't have much of a thought process on. Alright. Well, that's my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. See y'all later.